Alright, this is the first video about the Great Depression, and this is these are the causes, rather, okay? First off, in the election of 1928, the big saying was prejudice, prosperity, and prohibition. Those were the three issues, okay? So nativism, were things going great, and then also prohibition. Now, Herbert Hoover was on one side of this, Al Smith was on the other, and as you can tell, it's not even close. Now, the reason being for this, Al Smith was a Catholic, and he famously endured one of the biggest smear campaigns ever. The big problem people were afraid with about the Catholics is that they would go to the Pope before making a decision, thereby violating the First Amendment and establishment of religion cause. Now, we've moved past this because JFK was actually a Catholic, but again in 2012, Mitt Romney and his beliefs in the Mormon Church or the LDS Church, again, that becomes a big central factor. Now, Herbert Hoover had been on the scene for a while. In World War I, he was in charge of the Food Administration. During the 1920s with Coolidge and Harding, he had actually been Secretary of Commerce. And so a lot of people that said he's going to continue this prosperity, he's going to continue the whole idea of prohibition, and he's going to continue this whole idea of nativism, and everything will be fine. And so the 1920s, everything seems to be moving swimmingly. Now, in his inaugural address, he begins to talk about rugged individualism. He says we're between two doctrines, and that is of paternalism and static socialism, and then also rugged individualism. He is basically saying here, we as Americans do not need to rely on the government for solving our problems. We need to take care of it ourselves, and kind of let everything else kind of move beyond that. Okay? Now, socialism, as it was called, would have had the belief of just the government's going to provide for you, so you're going to be okay. So he's basically saying here, don't count on the federal government. Now, this actually comes back to bite him in the end. When the Depression happens, they go, well, what are you going to provide for it? And he goes, I'm not going to provide much, didn't I tell you already? So, you're going to figure it out on your own. The federal government's going to do little or nothing. Okay? Laissez-faire. Now, also at this time, we have the installment plan. Now, the installment plan idea was you could buy today and pay later. And so people, the big ticket items in the 1920s, you needed to have a washing machine, a car, etc. And so you could have this installment plan to help out with this. Now, this is a key component of trickle-down economics. And that means we're going to help big business first by tax breaks and other things. They, by virtue, are going to free up money and kind of trickle down to the lower end of society. Hence, trickle-down economics. Now, the stock market was the big place where trickle-down economics was key. There was no regulation. You could do whatever you want in the stock market, and it's like a ride. I mean, if you're willing to tough it out to the beginning, there's a really, really high. But where something must go up, something must come down. That's the law of physics. And so a lot of people got rich really quickly in the stock market, and for that reason, people are going to continue. Now, the people who actually are wanting to get this, they have an ironic name of a broker, because many people here in the stock market do go broke at this time. Now, Wolf of Wall Street, I would never recommend that at all. Horrible film with the language and how far out they take that. But a broker was the one who really got the money flowing in the stock market, because the stock market actually depends on your money to survive. So without your money in there, there would be no stock market. All right? So that's the first one about the cause of the Great Depression.